where they did now, they pass me. What did they do now? Which kind of love and one thing? He said, honey, let me take a picture. Why he take the picture? No, his own girlfriend. He take the picture of him for internet. It is sell them for internet. Una dey for here, una no know. Well, don't go before. They say online. This bank card them. They go punch the number for the bank card. Tell computer say, me computer subtract 50,000 from the bank card. The money can reach to the money account. So they call and say cyber pornography. In fact, that one an international crime. They punish them plenty. So I should be for this matter for sexual violence because of I way it start. Okay. Then we get the one where they use their mouth now for this ridiculous. Or maybe you get small big Bobby, they say Dolly Parton. Or whatever. I don't know some of that their name the way they call her. They can't call you this. That one are abuse. Section 307 of the penal code. And if you talk and so then other people they hear, they laugh. It be aggravated. Why? Because we know it protects woman in dignity. It protects your bodily and your sexual integrity for all respects them. Person don't get to violate you sexually either with the mouth or with the eye or with anything. Your sexual integrity. So when I see plenty of this rubbish what they see on the television, they're not really supposed to be there. Or that instrument. He said, don't forget about house. I mean for your hotel. He said, quick, take the man, hold on. Do whatever that. Chung. It follow. Price for woman, they say, tell her one prosecute that case. I be very surprised. The whole town night on against me. When the madam was saying, you know, so woman there, I know they are. They like gynecologists. Hey, we find gynecologists. We don't find that Madam Gassa. Who don't know that Madam Gassa weekend? What they come up with, they follow the woman. No, but who should be doing exercise? No, they want me for that case today, I will be surprised. What way it be rape? Rape now when man begins. Some of which just say first now only when he carries some big stick. He knock the woman, then the woman fall down deep, naive in force. No. For law, we get to what they call and say constructive force. Constructive force. First case of we 40-year-old madam, we go here and Peter for go drink. Even the drinking Coca-Cola, the 40-year-old madam, even the drinking Coca-Cola. I say, he said, PT just say, hey, who's he looking for?
In the conclusion of my presentation, being a victim of sexual violence is never a choice. Nobody writes an advertisement or sends an invitation, come and rape me. The fact that it is violence means it happened against the will of the victim and has actually injured the victim. So being a victim of sexual violence is not a choice. Nobody chooses to. But where we can make a choice is to have a concerted effort to make sure that that victim becomes a survivor. And this is where everybody comes in. The neighbors who saw it, the good Samaritan who was passing on the way, who can help the victim, the police, the gendarme, all the law enforcement workers, the social workers, the medical doctors who may be called upon to do a medical exam, the courts, the Ministry of Women's Empowerment, civil society, NGOs, all of us, we have a duty to help those victims become survivors. And they can only become survivors if they get closure. That means if they get some form of justice or healing. And that comes from us letting them know it is not their fault. It was the fault of the perpetrator. And we help to rehabilitate those victims and, bring them back, to normal so that tomorrow they will not only be survivors, but they will help other people. Let's break the silence together. It is not the fault of the victim.
In an attempt in breaking the silence, might we not get to a situation where it's like we are waging war against men in society?
It's not only women who are sexually violated by men. Women can be sexually violated by women, and men can be sexually violated by men. And when I was talking about Section 346 of the Penal Code, a very young boy could be sexually violated by an older woman. This thing is not a woman-man thing. It is the society picking up these vulnerable victims and helping them to get closer.
We didn't go 21st century dance with my friend. I see the lady dance, let's talk about love, baby, let's talk about love. It won't come back pretty. There are 3 portions. Meter dose. For instance, if you see the woman, the one passing for corners or road, you just throw me for ground. You land down, you jump on top. The one is saying, I will push you down. I will push you down. You will throw me. The woman pass. It will be now 10 years. No be 30 days to 2 years again. Now 10 years. If peradventure the man succeed for sleep with him, it will be 10 to 15 years imprisonment. 5 years. And then another thing about rape, I forgot to talk now. Certain circumstances that they aggravate rape, they don't make them enjoy too much. For example, we start with fear. We say that big man will go report now, they know here. No, instead report when they hear. And plenty things they know what they will do it. They will strip him. If you don't get medal, they will take him back. And he never will ever go again for medal after they don't punish him. Plenty public disgrace the day. So when they don't say custody of small picking them, small.
Actually, the fight against sexual violence continues. It continues because many people are still, many women are still suffering, and many men and women are still perpetrators. That's why it's continuing. What's the message? The simple message is that it has to stop. Nobody wants to be violated against, so you don't violate another person. And whoever does it and you notice it, it's your responsibility as a responsible citizen to report it so that the perpetrator is brought to book.
Yeah, you are noted to be of a very strong religious movement, and in the course of the deliberations, they highlighted an issue of ritual rape that could equally involve some men of God and or not. How do you think this thing can be stopped within the circles of the church?
Ritual rape within the circles of the church, actually, it's not that rampant. To my understanding, it's not that rampant, but even if it's one case out of 1 billion, it is still as bad as it is. And I'm calling on all the clergy, priests, pastors, and all that are involved in religious activities to understand that it is a crime to take advantage of somebody that is that comes to you and trusts you at that level. To take advantage of them sexually, it is a crime, and like the Lady Justice said, it is punishable for up to about 25 years imprisonment. So it's worth noting.
Madam, what do you think is the greatest challenge in the fight against the violence against women?
The greatest challenge in the fight against violence against women, in my opinion, I would say it's the silence about it, the silence on it. Those who are victimized, they don't want to talk. And because they don't want to talk, it remains in the shadows. It's as if nothing is happening. If they begin to speak, the perpetrators will be brought to book. And when they are brought to book, they'll be punished. And when they are punished, others will learn. So the silence about it is the biggest hindrance, in my opinion.
You carry your daughter, you be now bad thing that for law. In fact, the day when they catch and they prosecute the parents, they will put all on the inside. They will get what you want to call and say corruption of you.
People that human beings, man cock, woman, hen, and cock. You say them as Madame talk say when person want rape you, if you get power, you beat, you bite it, or you do anything for it. If they come for court, you the woman they will set you free. So it be last year August. My mama dey for village. So whenever I go for village, I make sure say I go for farm, I go find firewood. Since me I dey Kumba here, when I find firewood, when I don't stay for some time, I'll come back for Kumba. So I be go village last year August. So when I go village now, I say no, I go find mommy firewood as I prepare for come back. So for village, mommy gets a friend too, where you don't be of age too, but he still get power passing. So when I be reach village now, as I go farm, I don't go cut the firewood, cut them plenty, I pack them. So So this mommy tell me, say, you will help me for transport this firewood for house. So don't go first time, go carry the firewood to come. Second time we go. The third time, it don't be like say about past 5 o'clock. We don't go carry the last one. Where we go now? The weather we don't change. Where some heavy rain, it come. Place don't begin dark, and the distance for the bush for reach out, it be very far. Where even if you shout, nobody you go here for town. So we don't carry the firewood. Mommy don't carry it. So as the rain become heavily with all that breeze, it pass. I say, mommy, can we go? As once I go, some man come on side, tell me say, Unaka will go. That rain become Unaka will go. So we start for begin go. Me a day ahead, mommy dey for my back. Then you know say I want to see mommy just fall for back. He said, now who push me so? When that man. So I want to come for back. I see that man say, mommy don't fall on top of that basket. Not that basket firewood they carry so. He fall on top of that firewood so. Okay, since he wear a cabin now, he be wear trouser. So I see mommy falls on top of that firewood. That man just move mommy kaba. He just begin Jackie, he pants. For my face, now I said, now wait, who be you? The man only there struggle for rape mommy. He just struggle for rape mommy. I say, now what is this? What you want? The man only there struggle. I go put my basket for down. I move baby collapse every day for my back. I turned that back. I just say if I cut her so, I think he's the man. I turned around that back so. And now he go back so, bam! The man wake up and knock him again. The man wake up and start running, begin go. I tell them, mommy just carry fire, we begin run, we begin come back for time.
About women them, how a woman them, they go for doctrine their children, their woman picking and their man picking. For how women not begin to do some kind of thing they correct. If the one begin dress their skin they dress, they know how to dress, they know how to wear their correct clothes. And if the one for say, the one for make a lesson way, they want to make a thing, they know what they figure for one. I mean, man be not to the big group for so they be rape their own man, they marry them for their own self. I mean, not to say, picking or go be wear some kind of clothes, the way so clothes, they put on a lasso and they go for the kind of way. So it don't can't think them, can't load them with the inside a book where the way Matangasaran talk about Majesty Gasaran talk for we don't let you plenty for year.
Thank you, ma'am. This campaign, which is break the chain on sexual violence on women, it's a campaign that was initiated with a goal of sensitizing men, women and youth on the ills, the remedies and the infrastructures that are standing to help victims of sexual violence. We also wanted to highlight through this project that sexual violence is punishable by the law. We also realized before we initiated this project that most people have been violated, most women have been violated, but because of ignorance, they didn't even know that it was a sexual violence, that they had been through. So this project is aiming at creating awareness, as well as making perpetrators know that violence against women is punishable by law. We actually decided to get the youth, the men involved, because most of the sensitization that we know with women when it comes to violence has always just brought the women together, tell them that it's something that is punishable by law, and they go home and they are still violated by the men. So we realized that this discussion shouldn't only have the women, but we should get the men involved, since most often they are the perpetrators. Together, let's say no to sexual violence. No sexual violence.